Hi, my name is Jamahl Kersey and I'm a criminal defense attorney in San Diego, California. And in this video, I'll be explaining how to get a felony conviction dismissed. One of the most common questions I get as a defense attorney is how can I clean up my record after having been convicted of a felony? You can ask to have your felony conviction dismissed if you have no new cases pending and you are not on probation or parole in any case. If you are still on probation, you'll need to ask for early termination of probation before you can petition for dismissal. You can click above to watch my video on how to request early termination of probation. If you satisfy the terms and conditions of your probation, or if you were granted early termination of probation, the court must grant your petition to dismiss. If you did not satisfy the terms and conditions of your probation, it is up to the court whether or not to grant your petition. You may attach supporting documents to convince the court that granting your petition would be in the interest of justice. You can also ask the court to reduce the conviction to a misdemeanor if the offense is a wobbler. A wobbler is an offense that can be either a felony or a misdemeanor. To find out whether you were convicted of a wobbler, you will need to look up the code section for your conviction. If the code section mentions county jail as a possible sentence, then the offense is a wobbler. You can click above to watch my video on how to reduce a felony to a misdemeanor. If you were convicted of a felony offense and served time in state prison, generally you are not eligible to have your conviction dismissed. However, if you were sentenced to prison, but the same offense is now punishable by a county jail sentence based on a change in the law, you can ask to have your felony conviction dismissed. It is at the discretion of the judge whether or not to grant your petition. Again, you may attach supporting documents to convince the judge that granting your petition would be in the interest of justice. If you're not eligible for dismissal due to a prison sentence, you can still apply for a certificate of rehabilitation or a pardon. If you're eligible for a dismissal, the petition would be filed with the court and served upon the DA, giving them an opportunity to respond. The court will set a hearing date. At the hearing, the lawyer will make the argument as to why the petition should be granted. If the judge grants the petition, the previous guilty plea is withdrawn and a dismissal is entered. So there you have the basics on how to petition the court for a dismissal of a felony conviction. As always, thanks so much for watching. Until next time, peace.